almost no so maybe 25 years, 20 years. Eggs and plus a bag and a towel. Okay, so we're going to gather some black walnuts from the black walnut tree. You can see a whole bunch of them on the ground. It's a very foggy morning, so that's why you see a bunch of fog. So we're going to gather some black walnuts. It's October 27th, 2019. And we're going to grab some black walnuts from the ground. Where did my bag go? My bag in my pocket. And a whole bunch of black walnuts. Interesting thing about last year, there were almost no black walnuts on these trees. And this year, got tons of them. They're all over the place. And I want to pick these up because eventually they'll go rotten and they make a big mess in the yard. But these are edible fruits and very tasty and very good for baking, making cookies and baking products. And there's still some black walnuts on the tree, so we're going to collect them. And also, I'll see, like this one has like a hole in it, so it's probably like worms. So I don't want that one, so I'll leave that there. But there's some good ones here. Just as long as they don't have like cracks in it, that's what I'm really looking for. Because I don't want it to get, this one looks like it might be good. Yeah, this was a good one. A little bit of brown in it, but not dark black colored. So I'll save that one. I collected a bunch of these yesterday. And this one looks like it just recently, this one has a tiny crack in it, but I think I can use that. It's not too bad, probably just cracked from the fall from the tree. And talk about Florida, you don't want to get hit by a coconut. See, this one has like an ant on it. So like, you can tell probably an ant probably goes in that hole. But I don't see it's be alright. Let's find some black walnuts. So like I said, I collected a bunch of these yesterday. And these are very valuable fruits. Like this has a dark black spot. I don't want that. Find some good ones. Probably should have picked these a couple days ago. These are probably before they formed that black spot on them. This one might look nominal. I'll take that and try it out. And what I do is I take the husk off it, which is this green thing. It has a smell to it. It's a very sour, well, very strong odor to it, and very musky odor. And it's distinctive of a black walnut. But it's amazing. Sometimes these things will, some years you won't get nothing on these trees. This is no good. This one is good. You can use this. Some years these trees produce nothing, and some years, like this year, for whatever reason, it's producing massive amounts of black walnuts. They are incredible harvest of them. I'm not going to take all of them, but some other people might want to come by and collect them. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. I can also plant these too. They're really Black walnuts are hard to transplant, so I can grow them in a pot and see what happens and spread them onto the other properties, and hopefully make some black walnuts. And these trees, the wood of the black walnut tree are very valuable. You can make very good money off the trees of black walnuts. There's like 3 of them hanging on it. They actually say to pick the black walnuts after they fall down, because that's how you know they're much better quality. Take that one. A little bit of blackness in it, but not too bad. Nominal. Alright, so I'm going to continue picking on some more black walnuts. Here is the mess of black walnuts, but you don't pick them, they stay on the ground. And this tree, which actually knocked off its fruits earlier than that tree. As you can see, this black mess here, it's all black walnuts that have rotted out. They haven't been picked. But this tree over here, dropping them off later. This was here planted when we dropped off a couple weeks ago from this black walnut tree here. And so I got a bunch of them right here. I also got a bunch of them over there on the table. I'm going to try to find some more. Good ones. That's a good one there. Use that. That one looks. I'll test this one out. All right, so gotta go take off these husks, this green stuff, and there's a nut inside there, and then you dry them out for a couple weeks, and you can use them. So let's do that. Okay, so these are the black walnuts that I harvested. I have basically 2 bags of them, and so I'm gonna open them up. I need to get plastic gloves because they will cause, the husk of these things will cause you a lot of stain. They'll stain your hands up, so they say to use plastic gloves because the stain is really hard to get off once it gets on your hand. It takes weeks to get off. And there's a nice pungent odor to them. So you're at Lowe's, we're going to look for perlite for that black walnut tree planting. And you got to go around because the garden center is locked up. And Gypsy likes Lowe's because she gets pup snacks here. So we're going to look for perlite and some gloves, plastic gloves to remove the husk of those walnuts. Just you got to snip the tree first. Let's go in Lowe's. I can't believe they don't have this garden center open. And then you got to go around to the main door. All right. Went to Wayne's feed store, and they only had the huge bags of perlite. I just want a small bag of it, and it was like not $10 for this big bag, and I don't want to pay $10 for a big bag just for a couple walnut trees. Now, I can also use it for the apple trees that I'm planting and the peach trees that I'm planting to plant as well. So we're going to go to Lowe's and hopefully find some perlite. And of course, Lowe's already has their Christmas stuff up. Intake max is too hard to control 2 dogs at one time. And some latex vinyl gloves for taking off the husk of the walnuts. The saying is to clean the walnuts. And you still need perlite though. So we're gonna go to the store to get perlite from that other store because Lowe's doesn't have perlite. But the good thing is, Gypsy did get a pup snack. Alright, so we're going to Wayne's feed store to get a bag of perlite. So let's go inside. Alright, so I got the perlite. Gotta use it. Okay, so I got the walnuts, black walnuts. I got a whole box full of them. And I got perlite. And I got cheesecloth. I got vinyl disposable gloves, which I'm going to use after I take this husk off, because inside there it can cause stinging of hands. And they got sand, which is going to be used as part of the cleaning process of the black walnuts. I'm going to put the husk in this container. I got a bucket down there. Put a fan on to keep cool, to keep bugs away from me. Iced tea. And I got knives which I'm going to use to cut the husk from the walnuts. I'm going to use maybe 3 of these walnuts to try to plant walnut trees. And that's why I get the perlite for it, because it says to coat it in perlite, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, cool it, and go to dormant season, which is what that plastic bag is for. And the paper towels, which will moisten it up, and then stick it in the refrigerator for a few months, and then hopefully get a walnut tree out of it. Put it in one of the pots here, and in 20 years from now, should have a big walnut tree, and that's the goal. And unfortunately, that guy's blowing the blower right now and making a bunch of noise in the background. So let's get to work and move the husk off these walnuts, and hopefully get some good walnut supply. I really didn't want to bag this big bag of perlite, but I only need it for a few plants. I'm not making a bunch of trees, that's what perlite is. It's actually an explosive chemical, I believe. And that's what the black walnut's going to be coated with after I take the nut out of there. So let's get to work and hopefully get some trees going. Many years. Fortunately, these gloves are stretchable, and so I can use them to open up the black walnuts without getting stains on my hand. There's a cheesecloth here. Well, the cheesecloth is to dry the walnuts out after you soak them in water. So that's what we're going to do. These with sand, the walnuts, the shells with sand, supposedly cleans them off and dries them out. And these are the nuts I'm going to use for planting trees. I'm going to use these for tree planting. So in maybe 25 years, 20 years from now, we'll have a big walnut tree that will produce other black walnuts. So I gotta wash these off, get all the sand off. Now, I got that much more to, that's the husk from those 4 walnuts I just mentioned from these. Much more to go. So the good news is none of these were floaters, but they all sank to the bottom, which means they are good walnuts. So now I'm going to coat these in perlite, and then we'll put them in the baggie and stick them in the freezer or refrigerator for a few months, and then probably in January we'll hopefully try to plant them in some dirt, and hopefully get black walnut trees in many years to come. Back to taking off the husk of these black walnuts. So what you do is you take one, this is hard to do with one hand, and you cut it open. Like I said, it's hard to do with one hand. Holding the camera of the other one. You open it up like this, and there is the nut, the black walnut. Take all this husk off, and this husk right here is what makes your hands stain. That's why when you work with this stuff, you should always put on gloves to protect your hands, because it'll stain and it's really hard to get out. And you can use my understanding is they used to use the stuff for dyeing hair. You could dye your hair with this, dyeing hair chemicals. And so different uses for this husk. And I just throw them in that bucket and get to the next one. And I take this seed and I put it in the sand bucket right there for the time being. It stays in the sand, and I got all these ones to do. And so that's what we'll be doing the rest of the day. So let's get to work on getting the nuts. Okay, so far I did about half of them, and there's the walnuts that I've done so far, and not much more to go. That is the husk. So let's continue. Okay, so I got all the husk off and all the walnuts done. So now I'm going to put the sand on it and clean up the walnuts, and I'll process it from now. As we go, this is the walnuts. My hands are all dirty from the, even though I had the gloves on, it still got stained on them. And that's what happens. With black hands. Okay, so there's the walnuts that I took out. So we're to dry them and hopefully get some walnuts to eat out of the shells. Black walnuts. I get a good supply of them. Black walnuts hanging in these cheesecloth bags and plastic bag and a towel. They wait for them to dry. Hands are blackened from the black walnut stuff I had to do. Even though I used the gloves, I still got the blackness on me.